Hello and welcome to my review of the Yunteng VCT-288 Monopod. And we're very much in the budget area with this one. It's around about £40 or dollars, but you do get a fluid head that is included with it, so it's possibly going to appeal to video shooters. Now on the front of the box you can see just some basic information. This didn't come with a user manual or any instructions, it's just got a few printed details on the front there. With the one that I got, it did come with some lens cleaning cloths, and you also get a 1/4 inch to 3/8 inch adapter. It's made out of aluminium. Now the case that's included is just a basic slip case. This isn't padded, but it does give you somewhere to store the monopod. It's certainly better than having nothing at all. You can use the drawstring to close it up, but if you are heavy or a bit rough with your equipment, I would suggest looking at a padded one. For the price though, it's acceptable. Listed out some of the basic specs with this. You've a minimum height of 57 centimeters up to 148 centimeters with a weight of just over 1 kilogram. You have a quick release plate on the top of the head, and this has a Cork base. This is all plastic on the head including the plate, but it feels fairly dense with the plastic, so I wouldn't be too worried about the construction. I haven't had any issues. When you snap it down there, you'll see that the lever moves quite quickly, so make sure your finger is out of the way. That's possibly the only thing that I dislike about the head. Now we have two adjusters or knobs on the side. The top one controls the up and down movement. As this is a fluid head, there's some resistance even when it's fully off. You see it move there. So you can tighten it up to adjust the resistance however you want it, and you get the side to side movement with the bottom knob. Fluid head is particularly well suited to people that want to pan with video. Gives it a nice smooth movement. Also have some markings on the collar, and there is a foam pad. The foam is quite dense on that. It also helps for grip or if it's cold, and you have the adjustable strap as well just to give you a bit more security when holding it. They've gone for a square tubing on this rather than the more traditional round style tubes. And at the bottom you'll see we have the fold out legs. We have lever locks, 3 of them, to extend the tripod, and they seem pretty good. I haven't had any problems with any slippage when they're locked in place. It's definitely quicker to use those than the screw down collar type. You also have a rubber pad at the bottom there, so when you use it with the legs up, you can use it just as you would do a normal monopod. When you extend out the legs, they lock into place, so you shouldn't have to touch them again. I've never had to when I've been using it. And you have steel pins that keep them in place, and they seem quite strong, so they don't seem they're going to bend. And you see the stability is pretty good. It's designed to add to the stability of a monopod. It's not really designed to replace a tripod though. On the underside you can see grips on the tips. There's a quick look at the mechanism, closer up look. You can see the steel pins are pretty thick, and you have a section which sort of pushes them out so they auto lock in place. It seems to work fairly well, haven't had any problems. And you can see a section here with some silicone on the top as well, so you can put your foot on there to give you even more stability. There is a collar at the bottom. If you loosen that off, you will be able to adjust the angle. There's a ball joint there, so if you loosen that off completely, you'll get quite a wide angle variation, or you can tighten it down so that there's no movement at all. You can also unscrew the base, and you'll be able to see that there's a brass thread on the bottom of the monopod, so you could screw other items into this directly onto the 3-legged base there, or you could use the adapter if you want to change the size of the thread. Quick look at the quick release plate. Cork on this looks pretty good. It's quite large, so even with a bigger camera you won't have any problems with it moving around. I'm fairly happy with the quality for this. It is all plastic on the top section, but it does feel fairly good for the price anyway, and I'm just fitting it to a medium-sized camera. It's pretty easy to do that. You don't have to use a coin or anything. You have a fold out section. Taking off the head as well, you can fit this to a tripod or another monopod if you wish, or you can fit it to the bottom section with the legs, and that gives you a mini tripod as such. I'll just show you a quick shot with that here. Nothing on it. So if you wanted a tabletop tripod, you can also use it for that as well as a monopod, and I will fit the camera to it now. Now I'd use this possibly for macro work, but you could also use it for video panning as well. And you can see the movements here. So the movements are pretty smooth on the head for the price. You can spend quite a lot of money on a really expensive video head. This is really aimed at someone who wants a starting off monopod with a fluid head. And taking that into account, it's actually pretty good. It's better than I was expecting. I've certainly used much worse. Close-up shot here just to show you. So you'll need to experiment a bit with the tension on those knobs just to see how you feel with the movement. So you can get more movement or less movement. You might find suit better for slower or faster panning. You can also adjust the angle on the bottom collar as well if you want to do it at a slight off angle, or tighten it up so it's straight. Wouldn't really use that much for the mini tripod. That would be more for the when I was using it extended on the main tripods, on the main collar section. Now here, just to show you the stability, it's at its lowest position with the single leg, and it is fairly stable, but I would honestly not leave a camera on this if it's outside, particularly at the top extension. You'll see here I've leaned it against a wardrobe. It really is not designed for that. It's designed to add extra stability, so if you put your foot on it here, you can see it helps hold it in place. It is pretty stable inside at the lowest setting, but definitely do not put this outside, even at the lowest setting, with a camera on it, because it's going to come over and knock over, especially if there's a gust of wind or something. So just take a bit of caution on that. Treat it as a monopod. The exception would be when you have it as the mini tripod. It works quite well and it's pretty stable for that. Now you could also use this for other things. You have phone mounts. You could put an action camera on the top there. I'm just testing it with a larger camera, and it felt pretty good. Maximum weight is about 3 kilos, so this isn't designed for someone with a really heavy pro camera and long telephoto lens, a fast tele lens. That would exceed the weight. But for a normal user, mid-level to entry-level DSLR, or if you're using a compact system camera or even a compact camera, it's going to work pretty well. That handle there is the key difference between a normal tripod, which doesn't have a fluid head, or a monopod. That gives you that precision and control to turn it around much more smoothly. And you can see a few examples that I'm doing here just to show you. I'm by far from a video expert. I only tinker a bit with the video and do my videos on YouTube, so I'm not really akin to any of the advanced techniques with video work. However, I managed to get some pretty good results. I'm doing a faster pan here, and then we go back the other way, and I'm panning upwards just to give you some examples, trying to do a slow pan on this. You might find you want to experiment a bit with the tension on those knobs to see how you feel about the higher tension or lower tension. A faster pan upwards. It's definitely much easier to get decent results from this quite quickly. You want to practice a little bit than a standard normal monopod or tripod head, because they don't have that fluid movement. And gone back to a wide angle pan. So if you're someone that's into video, possibly stills as well, this is going to be a pretty good starting off monopod, which converts into a mini tripod. I was quite happy with it, particularly for the price. I think it's pretty good. You can definitely get decent results with this. You do tend to get what you pay for with products of this type though, so obviously you can spend a lot more money. If you have a bigger camera, you definitely want to look at something more expensive and higher quality, but it's pretty good for the price. I also like the fact that you've got the mini tripod conversion, and the fluid head was decent as well. The mechanism was a little bit fiddly on the quick release plate, and obviously you have a limitation with the size of camera that you can use with this. But overall thoughts of this, I was quite happy with it if you take into account the low price point. So thanks very much for watching the video, and I hope you found it of some use. I'm hopefully going to be doing some more photo product reviews in the future, so don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.